Yesterday, the High Court of Kenya lost every shred of integrity that they've ever had. Because instead of acquitting Gachagua, the pompous judges awarded him 50 million Kenya shillings in damages due to the Senate not following due process. But then, they still upheld the impeachment. Now, in this video, I want to highlight for you some of the reasons why the ruling of the High Court could very quickly and very easily be overturned at the Court of Appeal. And so with no further ado, let's get after it. Now, the first blunder that High Court made was instructing the Senate to pay Gachagua 50 million Kenya shillings in damages. I'll tell you why that was a blunder, but first up, here's Justice Eric Ogola relaying the message.
The court awards constitutional damages of Kenya shillings 50 million to His Excellency Gachagua payable by the Senate to vindicate the Constitution, restore the dignity of the affected party, and deter future violations. 6. Parties shall bear their own costs given the public nature of these proceedings. And lastly, for the avoidance of doubt, any prayer not expressly allowed herein is accordingly disallowed. Before we take leave of this matter, we wish to record our appreciation to all counsel who appeared in these proceedings and all parties for their industry, diligence, and the quality of their submissions. Your collective effort has contributed to the development of constitutional jurisprudence on this subject. We also extend our gratitude to the judiciary.
So by stating that Gachagua was treated unfairly in the Senate and is somehow worthy of compensation, the High Court has foolishly sided with Gachagua's legal counsel by admitting that the Senate's process was flawed. You know, this is an argument you can expect Gachagua's legal counsel to take to the Court of Appeal, and for sure it will hold. Even Danstan Omari thinks as much. Roll the tape.
In this matter, the judges were politicians. They were not 100% judges, but they shot themselves on the foot when they also confirmed that Gachagua's being denied a chance to be heard violated the constitutional provisions. They know very well that Gachagua will be in the ballot come 2027. Nobody will stop Gachagua from being in the ballot in this matter. Suppose the judges said Gachagua was wrongly impeached and he should go back to the office. This country could explode into a war. This clearly sets the precedent that we can impeach presidents. This is the Solomonic wisdom to keep the country at balance.
You know, you cannot award a child pale high school. Mtoto amepata A safi na kuna awards, anaenda stage anapewa award, munampigia makofi, and then the next day anaenda kupalilia shamba sababu alitumia Mwakenya. If you are going to punish this child because of using a Mwakenya, you cannot award them for academic excellence. So we cannot award the Senate by upholding the impeachment, but punishing them by forcing them to pay 50 million to Rigathi Gachagua. That impeachment ought to have been removed and made null and void. But we are expecting the Court of Appeal to use common sense because the High Court is seriously compromised. The second issue when it comes to yesterday's ruling is the fact that at least 2 out of the 3 judges had serious conflict of interest. Let's have a look at this tweet for context, and I quote, "The appointment of the 3 judges was made on purpose. They only completed a task they were given. One of the judges is a close ally of Speaker Kingi, and at one point, Rigiji had protested their suitability. Sources indicate a wife to another judge was given a state job. That in and of itself, to me, is like bribery. The blatant lie that public participation was done to their satisfaction was a clear proof of how biased they were. However, impeached or not, whoever Rigiji shall endorse for 2027, huyo ndiye atapeleka Kasongo home." I think that's a defeatist attitude. We are yet to hear what the Court of Appeal says. Too early to endorse anybody. So yeah, 2 of those judges should have recused themselves. They were not fit to even listen to a dispute between a chicken and an ostrich, let alone a former deputy president who was unjustly impeached. Third issue is the fact that Justice Frida Mugambi was reading false documents. How can she reference a document from the future in such a serious matter? Just listening to this.
Violations. The 10th respondent filed written submissions dated the 24th of August 2026, which were highlighted by Counsel Dr. Adrian Kimotho. On the procedure for impeachment, UDA submitted that Article 151 provided for the grounds of impeachment.
In the long run, every Kenyan is expecting justice in the Court of Appeal because the High Court has confirmed that Gachagua's rights were infringed upon by the Senate, but they're still rewarding the Senate by upholding the impeachment. Again, back to the same analogy, you can't award a kid for being number one and still punish them for using a Mwakenya. The Mwakenya nullifies everything in a normal democracy. But at the end of the day, guys, that's just my opinion. Let's head on over to X to see what other Kenyans have to say about this. And I quote, Eric Theory said, "The Gachagua judgment is a political decision at best, as it is legally absurd. The Constitution expressly provides that any decision in violation of rights is void. The effect of impeachment is that the person cannot hold public office. So how does a decision in violation of rights for what the court has awarded damages operate as a bar to running for office? Those are judicial gymnastics that reflect a captured court." Ahmed Abdullahi said, under Article 25C of the Constitution, the right to fair trial is a non-negotiable right. So how can the court make quasi-constitutional excuses on amorphous grounds in its refusal to set aside the impeachment of Honorable Rigathi Gachagua? The Gachagua judgment, in my humble opinion, is on a shaky, shallow, soggy, and sandy soil. Kithure Kindiki said, "It's okay. Huyu mutu huyu." Ni sawa, it's okay, utaenda tu na huyu rais wako. Dr. Miguna said, "I don't like Rigathi's toxic and petty politics. I've disliked it since I found him at the University of Nairobi in 1986 singing Kanu and Moi juu kabisa." But as a man who is fully committed to fairness, justice, and the rule of law, I believe that the court's ruling today was predetermined, is legally unsound and factually faulty. It should be overturned on appeal. The impeachment of Gachagua was not conducted fairly. It was unjustly rushed and was motivated by parochial personal differences with William Ruto. The court ought to have nullified it. And finally, Nelson Harvey said, "It was good that the entire judgment was read word for word and broadcasted live for 10 hours to the entire Kenyan public. How else would you have understood the problem we keep pointing out daily about incompetence, misconduct, and misbehavior by judges?" So yeah, shame on the High Court, Court of Appeal. We're expecting justice. You cannot punish the Senate by making them pay Gachagua 50 million, but still reward them by holding up a fake impeachment in that same branch of legislature. That one is a proper gangbang of the Constitution, if you ask me. But at the end of the day, guys, that's just my opinion. Do drop me your comments in the comment section below, and I'll do best to read them and to give you a response. So with that, here today's ads of the day. If you're still managing rentals using notebooks and caretakers, see how Joel Karangu Minor switched to a system that runs his 76 units automatically. Every month, caretakers traveled to his office with handwritten records. Balancing the math took hours. Payments never merged and tenants never got receipts. Then Joel switched to Bomahat, Kenya's award-winning property management software. Now payments update automatically, receipts go out via SMS, and every report is just one click away. He now runs all 76 units from his phone. No chaos, no confusion. Join hundreds of landlords doing the same. For more information, please call 0717-512-483 or visit www.bomahat.com. Interior design is one of those things you can't afford to get wrong. So if you're looking for experts to do your gypsum, wainscoting, paintwork, tiles, washrooms, and kitchen, reach out to Dhaka Living on 0706 026 218. That's 0706 026 218. And if you're here for the first time, please go on and hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching for a different platform, just head on over to YouTube, search for David Wafula. Hit the subscribe button. You're going to be getting a ton of content of this nature. If politics is something you're passionate about, this is definitely the one channel that you really need to subscribe to. Alright guys, adios. Thank you for choosing David Wafula as your primary news platform. We put countless hours in research, recording, and editing. By showing up each and every day to watch our videos, you encourage us to generate more videos for the viewers. We are on a mission to inform, educate, and build a better tomorrow. To our thousands of followers in a world full of presidents, kings, and queens, you are the real gem. Adios.